Here we go. Hey guys, welcome. Welcome. This week, I want to hit on something that's so common, and it's the self sabotage element of weight loss. However, most people are looking at self sabotage and weight loss as a failure. Like there's something that they're doing wrong, there's something that they're missing. And that's not the case at all. It's actually completely the opposite thing. So what I want to teach here is, and anytime you see me looking down, I'm looking down at my notes. We're going to look at so many different aspects of self-sabotage. We're going to look at what it looks like, what it appears like, and then I want to explain it, and then I'm going to tell you how to stop it. So what more could you want, right? And this is going to be one of those teachings that I know you're going to come back to. I know it. I know it. I know it. And let's just jump right in because I'm so excited. I know I started the live a little bit early. There's two things that I wanted to mention admin wise because we are in the first month of my membership. So I'm still getting into like what I want to do, which thank you for being patient with me. But the first thing is starting next month, we are going to have a calendar. So you're going to know exactly everything when I'm going live, what time, what the topic is going to be, what the theme for the month is, all of the things. And just like we did the 1111 portal a couple of days ago, I'm going to be doing things like that all throughout February. So it's going to be a mixture of master classes and then fun things like that and just Q&As and then anything that I can think of that comes into my brain, that channels down into me, we're talking about here. And I realized that the reason why I love doing lives is because there's no editing. And I just get to channel my notes to you. And for me, that is like my zone of genius. If you've ever read The Great Leap, which we will talk about in this little lesson, but that is where I find I'm the most authentic. So I'm going to do more of that. So you can always watch the replays. Don't worry if you can't catch it live. So there will be a calendar. You'll know exactly what's going on starting in February. I will have that calendar out. It's the 16th today, hopefully within the next 10 days. So you have the calendar a couple days before the month begins, and then you'll know exactly what we're doing. So super excited about that. And second thing I wanted to mention is if anybody wants to upgrade to one-on-one support, getting a power hour session on Zoom with me and you privately, you just have to let me know. You do get a discount being in this tier. So just let me know and reach out. I will figure out how to put the link here somewhere so that it lives on the page for the membership. But until then, just reach out and let me know. You can email me. You can reach out to me on, you can DM me. You could also comment and let me know you want to set one up, and then we can do that. So now that we got that out of the way, let's dive into self-sabotage because it's going to become a problem until we fix it, which is how problems normally work, right? They continue to be a problem until we do something about them, until we decide we're going to fix them. So let's name self-sabotage. Let's really name what it is and how it appears in our life. Nighttime eating. I do great all day long, and then all of a sudden 8, 9, 10 o'clock hits and I'm eating and you might not even be hungry. Or you might be hungry and you don't have the willpower to say, no, I'm not, I'm going to bed. The nighttime eating. Restaurants. You go to a restaurant and all of a sudden you had in your mind, I know exactly what I'm ordering. I'm going to order the whatever this is, this healthy option that fits my plan. But then you get there and you're like, all bets are off. I'm getting the carbonara. I'm getting the pasta and I'm eating the bread. And if I'm eating the bread and I'm eating the pasta, then I might as well get dessert because we're already down there. So might as well just keep on going. And then maybe you get the high sugar cocktail. It just like one thing spirals to another when we go out to eat. Stress and comfort. You're sabotaging because you're doing great all day long. And then all of a sudden a stressful moment comes along and it throws you off. And you start comfort food eating, you start binge eating, you start going off the rails, trying to process your emotions with food. The next thing, you're just overeating. You're finding that you're making these healthy meals, but maybe you're cooking for multiple meals, or maybe like who cooks for just one serving? To me, that feels like a waste. I'm cooking to either have leftovers or I'm cooking for other people to eat with me. So if I'm cooking one serving, that would be perfect, right? And that's why all those meal kit delivery services like Factor and those like portioned meals are so great because you're like, okay, I eat this and then I'm good. but we're normally not cooking like that. So we might go back to the pot and get a little bit more and get a little bit more. And before you know it, our perfectly macroed meal, we've eaten 2 or 3 of them in one sitting, and we're just eating to eat because that's what also gave us comfort in the past. And then the last thing I came up with in my head is our choices in general. We're upset with our choices in general. So self sabotage might be, oh, I'm going to be like we were talking about the restaurants, like, oh, I'm going to be good. And then you just don't order the right thing. Or maybe you're good throughout dinner and then you eat the dessert. And then you're like, damn it, I wasn't supposed to do that. Or I'm mad at myself. And then you lead yourself to feeling regretful and negative. And so anything that makes you feel, ugh, after eating or after your choices, that's going to be self sabotage. Because if we can't stick to the plan that we put in place or that we want to work, if we're just finding that we're sabotaging ourselves, that's the definition of self sabotage. That's us ruining our own journey. This isn't really other people's influence. This isn't other people guilting us. This isn't other people saying, oh, you better eat grandma's pie because she brought it to the party and someone in your family makes you feel guilty. That's a totally different thing. This is you knowing full well that you make all the decisions. You know you are in charge of what you eat, in charge of what you drink, in charge of what you think, and you're deciding in whatever moment that something is making you deviate from the right decisions. And I say that in quotation marks because right and wrong is very up for debate when it comes to diet and weight loss. You've put in your mind the expectations that you have over your weight loss journey. I'm going to be low carb. I'm going to be carnivore. I'm going to be watching my calories. And then you completely have that out there and then you deviate from it. So you eat too many calories. You eat the thing that's not carnivore, even though you've been doing good all day, or you're low carb and then you have tons of bread and breadsticks and pretzels. So that's what I'm talking about in this. So we have to ask ourselves, why are we doing those things? And that's what no one's asking. Everyone's just saying, try harder or try harder next week, start again on Monday. But no one's actually saying, why am I doing this? Why am I overeating? Why am I eating for stress? Why am I not able to comfort myself? Why am I using Twinkies? Why am I doing this? Why? And that's where the change gets to happen. That's where we move into solution mode versus problem mode. Relying on willpower, it's not reliable. As you all know, I'm sure if you're here, you know that. If you just say to yourself, I'm just going to try harder, you're just going to get more mad at yourself when you self sabotage. That's all it is, because we're just letting ourselves down more. When really that is kind of like what we were talking about last live. That's a band aid. Willpower is band aid. It's not the root. It's not getting to the actual reason why we're doing the things. So, and as you know, willpower works until it doesn't. When you're having a great day and you're just feeling it and you're like, oh my God, I had the perfect salad for lunch. I got a coffee this morning and I ordered the keto coffee and then I'm on track. I'm good. But then all of a sudden night hits and you're a nighttime snacker and you're like, oh my God, I ruined everything I did all day. Willpower works until it doesn't, right? Willpower works when we're in a great mood. Yeah. So then that's why people will lean on that. That's why like the gym bros will be like, just try harder. It's like, no, that's not my problem. My problem is not trying harder. I try plenty hard. It's these other moments, the nighttime, the restaurants, the stress, the whatever, the overeating. That's what we need to fix. It's not about trying harder. So realize if you've been doing that, don't beat yourself up at all. It's just the wrong approach to fix the problem. Once we fix the problem, all this gets easy. All this stuff gets easy. The self-sabotage doesn't even happen because you're fixing the problem, which we're doing today. So you're in the right place. Keep watching. So willpower works until it doesn't. It just makes us more frustrated. And that's the killer, is that it never was meant to fix anything. It was just meant to band-aid it. And the band-aid, as we know, eventually falls off. And you can even think of it like that. Make a funny analogy in your head. The band-aid is great, just like what we were talking about. You're great all day when all the circumstances align and everything feels great and you're feeling in a good mood. And the band-aid stays on great until you wash your hands. And then that band-aid on your finger starts getting loose. It starts, the ends start creeping up. And then before you know it, it's completely fallen off and your cut is exposed again. It's the same thing with willpower. You're good all day until you got a stressful moment. and then it falls apart. So just stop relying on the band-aids. We need to go to the root. So really, and you know what I'm going to say, safety. Safety is the number one word here. Safety in your body to go to the next level is most likely the culprit here. So if we talked about the Great Leap book with earlier, if you're hitting an upper limit constantly, it's not the process that's the problem. The process is always going to work. Keto works, low carb works, um, any diet works, Weight Watchers works. It all works. It's these moments of self-sabotage that kill it, and then we think, oh, keto doesn't work. It's like, no, it totally does. It's the willpower issue that we're dealing with here, where you're going into a diet with just the willpower, right? So safety in your body to go to the next level is always what we want to create. And if you're finding that you can't go to the next level, you keep hitting that same point and then falling off, you lose 10 pounds and you're so motivated and you do so great, but you can't lose 11 because that's when the self-sabotage starts. So that's where you've hit your upper limit. 10 pounds feels safe. Anything more than 10 pounds lost feels unsafe for your nervous system. Super duper common, super duper common. And all that means is that there's blocks that are stopping you. There's a ceiling that you're hitting. There's blocks that are in place that we need to clear. And I want to explain blocks because I feel like I've explained it so many times, but I've never explained it quite like this. So I realized blocks are just things that keep coming up. So this is the definition of blocks. 2026, Kathleen Hart, definition of blocks, things that are stopping us, things that are making us hit that upper limit. Events that were formed by a belief. Events that were formed by a belief. What does that mean? Examples. There was an instance at school where you got bullied for your weight, or bullied for your clothes, or bullied for your, I don't know, anything. You're chubby, you're this. You know how kids are. A boy said this, using the F word. You're fat, you're chubby, you're bigger than everyone else. And kids just say these things, but as a 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old, we internalize them. So events that formed a belief. Your mom and dad maybe made comments. Oh, you're gaining weight. What's going on? And that might just be a fleeting thought that came out of their mouth. They weren't even thinking about it. And if you were a child of the 80s and 90s, welcome to the group. Because that's where I feel we weren't talking about all of this psychological stuff that we're talking about now, and people just weren't aware of it. The internet was not a thing. Therefore, everyone was just living inside of their little houses, and that was it. We weren't communicating with people across the world and across the country, and everybody wasn't normalizing their experiences. So as a kid, if your parents were saying these things, same, it's okay. So events that formed a belief. Some event in your life formed a belief. So then you thought in your head, oh, I must be fat. Oh, I must be bigger than everybody else. Oh, it's normal for me to eat more than everybody else. You know, whatever that event is. And then there's also another thing that could be the definition of a block, a circumstance that formed a belief system. So this is an entire circumstance, an entire way of living, like figure your whole life. It wasn't just one little instance. It was just what you believe to be true. So that could be, those are more standalone items. This is more of a circumstantial thing. So you figure in your friends group, maybe you were the biggest one. So therefore you normalized, oh, I'm just the bigger one. I'm bigger than everybody else. It's normal for me to be bigger than everybody else. Whole belief system. Your mom and dad were yo-yo dieting your whole life. Oh, it's normal to always be going for a goal and never reach it. It's normal to be hangry and angry and mad when you're thinking about food. So then every time you think about food, you repeat what you know, right? You might have, unsafe in your day to day. Maybe you were neglected, abused emotionally, physically, any of those things. And if you're living in a constant state of chaos, you may have leaned on food to make yourself feel better, to make yourself feel safe, to make your body feel safe because chaos was surrounding you. So what did you do? You may have learned that going to food was that thing that made you feel safe. So events formed by a belief or circumstances formed by a belief. That is the definition of a block. And if you're feeling like you're self-sabotaging, there's something in there in your past that's blocking you. The blocks are stopping you from going to that next level, for losing more than X amount of pounds, for feeling safe to go and go all in. You know, if you're self sabotaging, there's something there that needs to be worked through and healed. So let's move on to the next section. What time have we got? 15 minutes. Perfect. So now, when we talk about knowing what we're dealing with, how do we actually stop self sabotage? And it's not what you think, and it's not what you've been taught, and it's not what most people are teaching, just the try harder method and the just don't go in the pantry. Well, just don't eat at night. Yeah, Linda, that would be really great if I could just stop eating at night. Like, that would be wonderful. But I'm doing it, and I'm doing it because there's something in me that says that is safe. And so when you've got these outside circumstances happening to you, you're going to always go back to what feels safe. And you're always going to deviate back to what your body has always done to create safety. And it's a cycle. And until we stop that cycle, stop the repetition, it's just going to keep happening. And if you're finding like you're on that wheel, you're literally on the wheel for the last time after this lesson, because it has to stop once you acknowledge that it's happening and you name what it is. Name what it is. This is just a cycle of me trying to create safety. So when you go to nighttime eat, or when you go to binge, or when you go to stress eat or comfort eat, or if you're eating too much, name it. That is my favorite thing to do. Psychologically, when we name it in our brain, we already stop our brain from that repetitious cycle. Name what it is. Whoa, it's 10 p.m. I'm not supposed to be eating right now. Like, I've eaten my dinner. I ate healthy all day. It's 10 p.m. I'm hungry. This is just a response from my body that it wants to create safety. Wow. Okay. Okay. And in that moment, you're already stopping the cycle. Even before we do what I'm going to say for healing, say it out loud, name it, label it, and then go, huh, whoa, I'm seeing it in real time. When you do that, we're shocking your nervous system, because we're not just falling asleep and going into the pantry and just eating and then going like, what just happened? It's not that autopilot anymore. We're stopping it in its tracks. So we need to kind of figure out why our body is unsafe to proceed. So this is where you're going to grab your journal. You don't have to, though. I mean, this is a great journaling exercise that I'm about to lay out for you, but you could also do this in like a meditation session. Ask before you go to meditate, ask this question and say, I'm going to meditate on this, and just kind of sit quietly, put on some music for meditation, and just kind of sit there for 10 or 15 minutes and see what comes through. Quiet your mind and then see what comes through. Sometimes all we need is to be quiet and quiet our mind and quiet our thoughts, and then we get the answer directly that we need. So journal or meditate on this and ask yourself, body, in on heart, deep breath. Why would losing more than 10 pounds be a bad thing? What's your ceiling? Get to your ceiling. Figure that out. Why would processing stress around my job be, why would that be a bad thing? Why would processing it without food be a bad thing? Why would going out to eat and staying on plan but still enjoying my time, why would that be a bad thing? What's your ceiling? What's the thing that you're doing to self-sabotage? Why would that be bad? So like a lot of people lose weight and then they get to a point and then they can't lose anymore. And they're just like, they get frustrated, they hit the ceiling, they hit the upper limit, and they're like, this doesn't work. No, there's something there blocking you. So ask your body, why would losing more than 11 pounds, if that's your ceiling, why would losing more than 11 pounds be a bad thing? And if you're journaling, journal the question and then just see what comes through. Just free write and see what comes through. And if you can think of direct answers that come, like, oh, well, then I wouldn't be able to fit into the jeans that are my favorite right now if I lost more weight. Boom. Literally, there's like silly little things going on, right? Because we think like, oh, I love these jeans. There's no other jean that's going to fit me like that. It's like, no, there's millions of brands of jeans and you could find another pair. It could be something surface level. It could be something deeper. So ask yourself and then see what comes up. See what comes up and see where your brain takes you, where your body takes you, where the answers come from. And then you can say, if body says this, you can say, okay, well, when did that start? When did that start in my life? And listen, this is an example that came up years ago now with one of the very first clients I worked with. And this is such a great story. That's where I bring up the gene conversation. So this was her. I'm going to lay it out for you so you can kind of see how this goes. Body, why would it be bad if I lost more than 11 pounds? Well, then you wouldn't fit into these jeans. And she's like, why do I care? Because she knows as a healthy minded adult, she knows she can go and buy more jeans. So why is her body telling her this? And so then the next question is, okay, well, when did that start? And she literally thought of a memory of when she was like 5 or 6 years old, where her mom was angry that she was gaining a little bit of weight, as girls do at that age. It's totally normal. Our hormones are developing. We have more fat than boys, all the things when we're that age. Her mom was frustrated because she's like, you outgrew another pair of jeans? I got to buy you more jeans. I got to lay out more money for jeans. This is crazy. And harping on her weight. So what did she do? She internalized that. And now as an adult, she knows better because she could just go and buy more jeans. But 5 and 6-year-old her, when that event happened, is running the show. She's still running the show because we never actually went back and reparented that version of her to say, no, your mom actually handled that a little bit poorly. You're okay. You're growing. It's normal. All those things. So think about what instance from your past sparked whatever came out as your body's answer. Isn't this so cool? And this is my favorite part about weight loss and teaching and being in this type of container is that it's so nice when other women are recognizing that there's nothing wrong with them for why they can't lose weight or why it's not working. It's not the things you think it is. It's not the willpower. It's not just don't buy those snacks. It's like, no, like if you have kids, like you're going to have crap shit snacks in the house, like you've got to be able to deal with that without wanting to pull your hair out because you're just like, I just want that food. It's like, how can we actually normalize it and get to the point where we don't want those things anymore? Even though they're staring us in the face, we just don't want them. The bagels in the break room, we just don't want them. The brownies in the pantry, we just don't want them. How do we get there? And everyone is screaming to have more willpower, set more resolutions, set more goals. It's like, no, that's not the problem. Because I know that every single woman I've ever talked to and worked with has no problem writing down their goals. They have no problem explaining why they want their health to be better, why they want weight loss gone. They can map out exactly what their future looks like when they're at their healthy weight. That's not the problem. The blocks are the problem. The events that formed a belief in you when you were younger, the circumstances that formed a belief in you when you were younger, those are the things that are the problem. But that's once you recognize that and realize that you can change your life by doing these things, everything gets so, so, so good. And that's why I started this membership. Just a little side note. That's why I did, because we really need to get this type of thinking into the minds of as many women as possible, because this is where the change happens. So anyway, your body says X. That was my tangent, getting off the soapbox. Your body says X. What instance from the past sparked that? And then go back to the OG, less weight, better life. Do I want that to be true? Do I want it to be true that I'm not going to lose weight just because these size 15 pants fit me right now? No, because I want to be a size 8. I don't want to be a size 15 or 16. I want to be a size whatever, 2, 4. That's it. What do you want to be? And so, do I want that to be true? The answer is probably no. But the problem is, 5-year-old you is still running the show. Therefore, adult you knows that it doesn't make sense that you would hold on to weight for these reasons, but you're doing it because 5-year-old you needs to be reparented. And if you've got my course, Less Weight, Better Life, which I think all of you guys do that are in here right now have it, go in there. If you need the link, let me know. Go in there. It's on Kajabi now. Kajabi. Focus, spelling. So go in there and go to the last module to all of the meditations and reparent the version of you in this instance who was told that they can't outgrow their jeans for whatever reason. Go back. What does she look like? Is she 5? Get a picture of yourself when you were 5. Is she 15? Get a picture of yourself when you were 15. look at her, talk to her, reparent her, do that meditation. Do that meditation as if your life depends on it, because she is running the show. Even though I'm 40 years old, last year I realized 21-year-old me, 15-year-old me, 13-year-old me were all running the show for various different reasons. And I thought a lot of it was like my childhood, which I had cleared a ton of that to get to my weight loss goals. But with all of the craziness that happened last year in my personal life in areas other than my weight loss journey, I realized that I was still having these same things going on. And I was like, what is going on? I realized by finding these blocks that 13, 15, and 21-year-old me pretty much was consistent, some other years as well. They were running the show. So, of course, I'm hitting these ceilings as a 40-year-old woman, 39 last year. I was like, what? And we need to heal those parts of ourselves, because if they're running the show, it's not going to make sense because we're not in the same brain. We've learned so much since then, and we're at a different place now and we know better. So when you feel like, I know better than to do this, ding, 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 neon sign, reparent. That should take you straight to reparenting. So if you're going about your day and you're like, I know better, but I'm still doing this thing that I know I'm not supposed to do, that should be a green light for you to go and reparent. And you don't have to dig too far deep either. These answers will come up very quickly, because if you're here and you're ready to let go of these self-sabotaging moments, then your body is also ready, and it's going to be like, no, 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 we want to clear this. We want to clear this. Like, get rid of this. It's going to bring it right to the surface and you're going to be ready for it. You're never going to be ready to clear something that's not ready to also clear itself, if that makes sense. 5-year-old you is freaking tired. She's tired of running this ship. She doesn't want to do nighttime eating any more than you do, but she's doing what keeps her safe inside of your nervous system. We need to tell her and reparent her and tell her she can go and rest now. Everything is good. I've got you. That's what reparenting basically is. We're telling that younger version of us that they can relax, they can chill. We thank them for their service. Thank you for trying to keep me safe, but I'm in control now. I'm steering this ship. I know how to make myself feel safe, and it has nothing to do with food. And that's what we're going to do moving forward. I'm going to stop self-sabotaging myself. So you can do the reparent meditation. If you don't have access to that, or if you just want to do something else, something different, something in addition, do the EMDR. And there's the I'm trying to think which one it is. It is the tapping method for EMDR is what I'm thinking we're going to do. So you're going to go through that moment of when, if you can pull up the specific instance, this is the best time to do it. Go back to that moment where your mom told you that you can't outgrow your genes. This is just the example we're going with because it just makes so much sense. But go back to that moment, tap, butterfly tap, which is alternating taps. This is really good because what we're doing is we're accessing our left brain and our right brain at the same exact time by doing this tapping. So when we do this, you're going to go back in time to that exact memory and you're going to rewrite it. You're going to rewrite it. You're going to parent yourself normally in a way that makes you feel better. So in this case, you would close your eyes, you would tap, and in your brain, you would tell the story that your mom is maybe talking to you like you would talk to yourself back then. Your mom's not judging you. She's not telling you the pants. She's mad that the pants don't fit. You're going to go back in time and your mom is going to do this. Okay. My mom put on my pants. They didn't fit. Oh my gosh, you're growing so fast. Let's get you some new pants. We're going to go to Target this weekend. I don't know what stores were in the 90s or the 80s. Maybe, I don't even know. Macy's. Let's just pretend. We're going to go to Macy's and we're going to buy you new pants. You're growing so fast. I'm so proud of you. That's probably because you're eating your veggies, and let that be the end of it. And then you go, oh, okay, mom, that'll be so much fun. And then your mom even says like, oh, maybe we'll go to a store and we'll get a stuffed animal. Nothing to do with food, nothing about food, nothing about your body, nothing about any of that. None of it. We're reparenting ourselves in the actual moment. This would be great to couple with the meditation or do them all on their own. Each on their own, that's fine too. Do the meditation, then do this, or do one or the other. Highly recommend doing something. You have to do something. We have to do something, some action step to clear this out of our nervous system. So then what you can do After you've done the clearing work, which is either the EMDR or the Reparent meditation, you're going to solidify it. Solidifying it is telling your nervous system, now we are thinking something different. So what's going to happen is we clear things and then we're good, but our brain is going to say to us a few times, not a lot, are we going to believe the new thought or are we going to believe the old thought? Are we going to believe how it really happened or are we going to believe how you just reparented it when you did the tapping? And this will come up in sneaky ways because you're going to think, oh, I did it, I cleared it. But then all of a sudden your brain at 10 o'clock in a couple of days is like, yeah, but like there's ice cream in there that you bought and we want that. We want that. We had a rough day. Like we need it. And your brain is going to go, wait, I'm getting this urge because this is what I've always done. You've done this for years. So don't get surprised that your brain is going to be like, are you sure? Are you sure you've changed? So in that case, it's like the brain is going, wait, we're still creating the new neural pathway in our brain. What are we believing? Are we believing the new thought or are we believing the old thought? Which one is it? And in that moment, how you can, what did the word I used? Solidify it. Solidify the new thought is through the food anxiety tapping. It's in the lower tier. It's in the reset room, but it's available for you guys. You guys get access to all the private video vault stuff, content. It's in there. I put it up this week. Food anxiety tapping, or maybe that was last week. Food anxiety tapping. It's in there in the members only tab. Do that anytime you're trying to solidify this new habit, this new way of doing things. We're not going backwards. So solidify the new way. You can do this before, during, after a binge. You could do this if you're feeling like nighttime eating, if you're stressed out over work and you're like, I just want to eat all the things. If you're trying to comfort food eat, if you're going to a restaurant, do this before you go in, this before you leave, do this while you're doing your makeup. Just do it real quick, do the tapping, feel better. And this is how we're going to solidify no brain, no nervous system. We're believing the new belief. Stop it. And sometimes one round of tapping will get your brain to go, she's serious about this. Because we're getting to the root. We're not just band-aiding it and saying, I'm just going to try harder. No, do the clearing, then do the solidify. Boom. That is it. That is literally, I know this topic can feel heavy sometimes, but let me just tell you this. You do what I'm telling you to do right now. We are done with this. And that's something I wanted to end on. So we're at about half hour. So that's perfect for timing for me. Thank you. So what we want to do, healed nervous systems stay healed. They literally stay healed. Once you heal 5-year-old you, she doesn't come knocking back at the door going like, well, wait. No. Once you tell her to rest, she says, finally, thank you. Jeez, Louise, I'm going to go sit on a beach somewhere. And she's not gone, but she's resting. She's now resting. And you get to steer the ship. You get to control the show. You get to be back in the driver's seat. All the silly cliches that I love to use. You are now back in the driver's seat of your weight loss journey and your health journey. And this is really powerful because 5-year-old you created that belief, that block. She created that block for you. But 40-year-old you, my age, 40-year-old you knows better. And now you get to, with all of your knowledge and everything you've learned throughout your life, now you get to be back in control. And that's the best part about this. That's why I get so excited, because this is, if it's not instant, it's almost instant. And not only that, when you can calm your nervous system, and the key word here is regulate your nervous system. When you can regulate your nervous system, your life gets infinitely better. Because when your nervous system is more controlled, you don't feel your emotions so deeply. The pendulum doesn't swing so crazy. You don't, and I've noticed this for myself a lot in all of the healing that I've done in this past year. I used to not fly off the handle. That's kind of like that makes it feel like I'm going crazy. No, it's not that. It's like I would just feel my emotions so deeply. Like when I would get angry, it would be like I am freaking 0 to 10. Or if I would get stressed, it would be 0 to 10. It would be like ding, 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 ding. I am the stress I've ever been over something that was silly. And then in major situations, I would get just as stressed. Like my pendulum was just going nuts. So how do we fix that? When you regulate your nervous system around even what we're doing here, you're regulating your nervous system piece by piece by piece, and that's regulating it as a whole to just calm you down. So then when stressful things happen to me now, I'm able to be like, huh, interesting. Can I do anything about this right in this moment? No. Okay. Well, all right. Well, I'm gonna go make lunch. Like literally, that's what I do. If I can't do anything about something in that moment, that is it. That's where it stops. It's done. And it's so freaking freeing and beautiful and amazing. And for me to be able to sit here, I'm not even joking you, and tell you guys this, just know that this is possible for everyone. Everyone. Because the amount of blocks that I had and that I've cleared last year is astronomical, crazy, the amount of blocks. One time I was testing and I had over 30 blocks around one subject of like feeling worthy. And it wasn't around weight or health or anything. It was around a different area in my life. But 30 blocks is 30 blocks. And I cleared them all. And I'm sitting here now with such a regulated nervous system that nothing really bothers me. And especially the ones who know exactly what I'm going through. It's like there's a lot of stuff that comes up throughout the day where I could easily spiral like I used to and go off and be like, well, what am I going to do in February? What am I going to do in June? What's going to happen with this? What's going to happen with that? How am I going to do this? It's like, no, those questions don't even cross my mind anymore because I've regulated my nervous system. So I'm only dealing with what I need to deal with, and I'm only dealing with things I can actually control. So 5-year-old you created those beliefs, but 40-year-old you knows better. And that's where this whole process gets to be great because it puts you back in the driver's seat. And when you actually do that, to tie it all together, then you don't self-sabotage. You don't overeat at night. You don't stress eat. You don't go out to dinner and go off the rails. You don't do any of that anymore because you don't have the blocks there by events that formed in your past, by circumstances that have formed in your past, because they're cleared, they're healed. That version of you gets to go and rest. And when she gets to go and rest, you get to run the show. Present you gets to run the show. So I really hope this one hit. If you've got questions, put them in the comments below and we can chat about it. There will be a calendar coming out. Just to reiterate what I said at the beginning, there will be a calendar coming out. And if you do need the link to book any one-to-one sessions, just reach out to me and let me know. You do get the 10% discount. And I will see you guys really soon. And I'll let you know, I want to do a post. I'm definitely doing a live next Friday. This is probably going to be the norm. I want to give you something on a Friday to stimulate your weekend to staying on track. But then also, weekends are a great time to implement these things. We've got a little bit more time. Our structure's a little bit looser. So you can listen to it on Friday or listen to the replay on the weekend and then implement. Work how you're going to implement it. And like I said, any questions, put them down below in the comments. And I think I'm going to end it here, guys. But self-sabotage is completely curable and so normal. But I hope I gave you like a different way to look at it. So I'll see you guys really soon in my next one. But have an awesome weekend. Bye, guys.